Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you saw from the title, today we're going to be going over all of the romance and dark romance series that I am in the middle of. It's actually quite astounding. The problem is that romance series tend to have so many like interconnected books that it's not like integral to read all of them, but you get sucked into the world and then you feel like you have to read all of them, and somehow I find myself in the middle of a ton of romance series. So we're just gonna get right into these. If you watched my video for the fantasy and sci-fi series that I was in the middle of, I broke it down into like priority for the series and how like high, low priority they were for me to get to, and I kind of did the same for this. The largest category is going to be my low priority, so we're going to start with that. I think it's probably just because like romance series, I'm never like jonesing to get to them per se like I am my fantasy series, because they're typically interconnected stories. It's not as big of a deal if I don't end up getting to them immediately. Like I don't need to remember so many plot points like you do in a fantasy series. So a lot of lower priority ones in this video. So we'll jump right into it. The first one is, actually I don't even know what this series is, but it's a dark romance series by Kei Morinova. The first book is The Fabric of Our Souls. The second one is The Phantom of something. And it's connected to this one. It's another interconnected one that follows one of the characters from this book after the events at the end of it. So this is low priority really because I wasn't a huge fan of this book, but I already own the second one, so we're going to give the second one a chance, see if it kind of redeems the series for me. Then we have Bridgerton. I read the first two, I believe, in this. This is low priority just because I'm not enjoying it as much as the TV show. I just feel like the TV show is really bringing to life a lot of the glamour and the beauty of this world, and being in London during the season when everybody is trying to kind of find their person, going to all these balls and stuff. Like it really brings so much more to it that the books just aren't offering, but I did want to read the books while watching the series, so at some point we'll get back into this. Then we have the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I read the first two. I think there's 4 or 5 total. And I don't know, I just kind of fell off reading this and haven't really felt an overwhelming urge to get back to it immediately. I do want to finish it since I own now the first 2 books. I think I recently bought the second one. I do want to get back into it. It's just taking me a little. These are about F1 racing, and that's not really something I know a lot about, which might be affecting my desire to read it. Then we have another dark romance. This is the Never After series. I've only read the first one, Hooked. These are all sort of reimaginings, or like they're inspired by Disney fairy tales. So this one is inspired by Peter Pan, and then the rest are a bunch of different ones. Don't really have a good reason for why this isn't super high on my list. I think I just fell out of love a little bit with reimaginings in books that are inspired by fairy tales. Like they just don't always hit the way that I want them to. So I kind of fell off for this one. Then we have the Bromance Book Club. Honestly, when I read this initially, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was like a fun time, and then it took me a while to get to the next one, and now I don't know, there are other ones that are higher on the list. This also has like 6 or 7, I think, in the series, so that's part of the reason. I don't know if it says in the beginning of this. But this is cute because it's like all of these men that start a book club so that they can read the romance books that their wives, significant others, what have you, what they really enjoy, and try to understand where they're maybe going wrong in their love lives and try to fix it, which is just a cute, fun, really actually wholesome concept. Then we have one that I didn't know if I should put this in fantasy or in the romance, but I feel like this definitely leans more towards romance with just some supernatural elements in it. So supernatural romance, I suppose, is the correct subcategory for this, and this is obviously Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Mate released, I think, last year, and Bride was kind of a disappointment. I've heard better things about Mate, so I do want to give it a try. I do enjoy Ali Hazelwood's writing. This was kind of a miss for me, so we'll see when I end up jumping back into Mate, probably sometime around fall, honestly, since it is slightly paranormal. Going to another dark romance, we have the Brutal Birthright series. These are very light mafia romance books, each one following different siblings in these 2 rival mafias. They're kind of fun. They're not really like super dark. I would definitely say these are more like intro dark romance reads, so they're nice like little palate cleansers. I've read the first 3, I think, and there are actually, maybe I've read the first 3. I think there's 6 of these, so I still have like 3 left. For another dark romance, we have I think this is the Lore of Olympus series, and these all follow different Greek gods. This first one is like a Hades and Persephone retelling. Honestly, the reason that I haven't picked this up is because I'm getting a little bit sick of Greek god retellings, which maybe it's just Hades Persephone. I think it's probably that. I'm sick of the Hades and Persephone retelling. I feel like there are so many of them out there that after reading this first one, I just kind of went meh towards the series, even though I do own all of the other books in the series, or most of the other books in the series, which is why I haven't completely decided to give up on it. I don't think that's entirely fair of me, because I know this is the only one that actually features those two. So getting to see other Greek gods could be really fun, but I think this just kind of, I was like, really, again, with just Hades and Persephone. So I need to get back into it, and I think I'll probably enjoy the other ones, but it's still not very high on the list. Then we have the Priest series. This is another interconnected standalone. It's 3 books. I've only read the first one. This first one is following, obviously, a priest, and he is struggling with temptations to go against his vow of celibacy. I think the other 2 books are following people in his sphere. I think his brother is one of them, and I'm not sure who the other book is following, but kind of all have that religious undertone attached to it. No reason why I'm not really too keen on getting to this. It's just not as high up as the other ones. Then we have a hockey romance series, which is the Off-Campus series. I read The Deal and The Mistake most recently because the TV show came out, so that kind of inspired me to get back into the series. This is low priority because honestly, I'm not really a huge fan of these. I've read other hockey series that I enjoy more, which is why I'm not really trying to run to this one specifically. I think, own the other 2 books in the series, or 2 or 3. So I'm going to finish it at some point. It's just lower priority because I'm not getting as much depth out of this series as I am out of some of the other hockey romances. I just feel like these are very, very spice heavy, and I just want a little bit more. I don't mind spice, I just want some depth attached to it as well. Then we have another, I guess, supernatural romance, and this is The Kiss Curse. This is attached to the Ex-Hex. I read that last year. I actually don't even own that book anymore. The only reason that I want to try to finish this little duology out or whatever is because I own this one. There actually might be a 3rd book after this. I have 0 intentions of going into the 3rd one unless if this one's really, really good. I just wasn't overwhelmed by the first one, and again, wouldn't be bothering with this if I didn't already have it, but they're following witches and the silly shenanigans that they get up to. Then we have a series that a lot of people probably think is a little bit cringy, and I'll give it to them. Lucy Score does have some very cringy writing, but this is the Riley Thorne series, and there's something about it that I think is really funny for some odd reason. Yeah, there's cheesiness in here. It's following a psychic and her attempts to help solve a crime, so that alone is kind of cheesy. But like I said, there's something addictive about these books that just makes me laugh and makes me want to read them, but they are definitely not for everybody. Speaking of a series that is not for everybody, we have the Dream Harbor series. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe is probably the most popular, and then of course there's this one, The Christmas Tree Farm. I have 2 more to read in this series, and it's low on the priority list mainly because I just kind of read them as the season they fall in approaches. So I think I have 1 more to read for summer, and then I think I have another fall one, and that should be it for the series unless she releases any more. These don't have a lot of depth to them. They're just like silly, goofy good times, but they're more heartwarming. I know, like, I didn't really like the Off-Campus series because I feel like there's not a lot of depth to the characters. These, I feel like, have less spice than the Off-Campus series. I'm sure some people would debate that with me. These just feel more lighthearted and wholesome, maybe because they're following adult characters. I also really appreciate that because you still get some of that real world struggle as adults too. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why I'm trying to justify it since it's just my opinion, but yeah, I do enjoy these. It's just low priority because I only read them when the seasons roll around. And then the last one in the low priority category, we have King of Wrath. This, I think people have categorized it as dark romance. I don't know if I'd say that per se. They're not really dark at all. They're billionaire romances actually, which is not normally my thing. I did enjoy this first book way more than I thought I was going to, but I still have a lot of hesitancy towards the rest of the books because billionaire romances aren't normally my thing. I was actually gifted the first 2 or 3 in the series, which is why I own it in the first place. But because I did enjoy this more than I thought I was going to, I'm definitely going to at least give the rest of the series a chance. Getting into my like medium priority, the first one we have another interconnected standalone series, and that is the Heartstrings currently duet. I don't know if there's going to be a third book out or not. This one follows a radio show host, and then the second book follows a meteorologist also on the same radio show as one of the characters in here. The reason it's on a medium priority is because I really love B.K. Borison's writing. This one was kind of a miss for me, but I still do enjoy her writing normally, and I do really want to read the next one, but it's set in a snowstorm, so obviously I want to wait till winter time, so that's why it's not super high priority for me right now. Then we have a couple that I would really like to get to once fall comes around. I don't know why I'm already looking to my fall reads, but I am, and that's going to be Butcher and Blackbird and Her Soul to Take, which is the Souls trilogy. These are both dark romances. This is kind of like a comedic dark romance following serial killers. There's 3 books in this. I only have 1 left to read, so I do really want to get to that one sometime during the fall. And then, as I said, this one is the Souls trilogy, so obviously there's 3 books in here. I've only read 1 of them so far. This follows a girl who manages to summon a demon by accident. There's a lot of paranormal stuff going on. There's a cult in here. And I really enjoyed this, actually. I think this was like a 4-star read, perfect for spooky season, and I anticipate that the other books are going to be perfect for that as well. So that's why they're like medium priority, not high, because we're not quite into fall yet. Next we have the Sparrow Falls series. I just recently read this first book, and I did enjoy it. It's like a romantic suspense. Enjoyed it enough that I do think I want to prioritize it a little bit more. I enjoyed the mystery elements of it, but something kind of missing that it's not like super high priority. I don't know how to explain why. I don't know how to explain a lot of the categorizations for these, if I'm being honest, but yeah, that's where this one falls. And then another medium one. This is the last for the like mid priority. We have the DC Stars series. This is one of those hockey romance series that I think does it a little bit better. These follow adults, which is a big difference. I vibe with that a little bit more, and these are characters in actual professional hockey. This is like a medium priority because I did really enjoy this, and I do really want to get into the rest of these books, but it's summer. And I mean, while I did read this while I was on the beach because of the time that I ended up starting it, I don't actually want to read any more hockey romances in the middle of summer. So we're just going to hold on to this a little bit until we get into the cold season again, and then I will absolutely be running to pick this series up. So that was the last of my mid-priority books, which means we only have the high priority ones left. A lot of these are going to be ones that I am focusing on because it's summer, and I really want to get to them during the summer, even though we're running out of that way too quickly. The first series is going to be the Gold Rush Ranch series. This is not the first book in the series. I accidentally picked this one for a prompt, and because they're interconnected standalones, I was like, you know what? It doesn't really matter if I read this out of order, so we read this one first. I think there are 4 books in this series, maybe 5. I've only read 1, so I have a decent amount left, but I do own them all. I love Elsie Silver's writing. I love her cowboy romances. Cowboy romances are great for summertime, so that's why I would really like to get to this in the remainder of summer. Like 1 or 2 of them, I don't think I'm going to finish the series this summer by any stretch of the imagination. We have the Rebel Blue Ranch series. This one also has, I think, 4 books in it, and I've only read the first one. These are definitely a little bit spicier than anything, but there was something about this first one that I really enjoyed reading, I think because it just took me back to my roots of being a young girl and writing and living on a farm. I really enjoyed that aspect of it, which is kind of why I want to continue reading through these. And again, cowboy romance, summertime, can't get much better than that. Then, to contradict myself just a little, we do have a hockey romance series in here. And the only justification for why this is higher priority than the other one is because I read the first one and really actually loved it a lot. This is a dark romance series. I feel like the hockey's not as overly present as the DC Star series, so maybe that's part of it too. Like, it doesn't feel like it needs to be read in the winter because it's not so focused on the sport per se. There's just something about this series that I really enjoyed, and I didn't expect to, because it, like, the men in here are definitely bullies. Like, these are really dark. Like, these are a lot of very dark topics in it, not a light dark romance by any means, but there was something about it that I really liked, and I do want to continue reading. It follows, obviously, as you can guess, most of the hockey players on the team and their various love stories. So I did read the first 2 in this. I think there's 5 in this, so I have 3 more to go for that one. Staying in the sports romance vein for just a minute, we have the Windy City series. I read the first 3 books in this. They all follow different sports, different members of those sports team, all from Chicago, but like some of the characters are connected to each other in different ways. I love this series. Liz Tomforty has just a fantastic, incredible way of writing. I love the men that she writes. Her book boyfriends are incredible. So I have 2 more left to read in this one, and I just really, really want to get to these. Actually, the fourth book is on my July TBR, and I need to get to it. As I mentioned earlier, I do love B.K. Borison's writing, and I've read 2 of the books in her Love Light Farms series. These are actually very similar to the Dream Harbor series because they're all set in a small town and following the different characters inside of it. Some of the businesses are very similar, like just a lot of things that overlap, where I read this one and one of the Dream Harbor series in the same month, and I was actually like swapping characters by accident. They're just cute, fun, wholesome, good times. B.K. Borison has a little bit more depth to her characters than Laurie Graham does in that series, so that's why it's a little bit more high priority. I do just really love her writing style though. Then we have a series that I haven't read in a long time. This is actually, I don't even know what the series name is at this point, because when this one was released, it wasn't a series. This was the only book. I read it as an arc before it came out, and there was something so hauntingly beautiful about this story. It is about a young girl that's trying to recover after being assaulted, and she's trying to put herself back out there, learn to trust men, learn to trust herself, and just live her life to the fullest again. And the representation in here of mental health, of somebody that's recovering from something like this, was absolutely beautiful. All of the characters were so well rounded, had so much depth to them. It was a stunning story. And then she eventually released 2 more books that are connected to this one, and I need to get to them. I just haven't yet for some odd reason. I think because this one was very heavy and emotional, and sometimes when I pick up romance books, that's not what I'm going for. Like, I picked them up because I just want light, cute, fluffy reads, so I haven't gravitated towards the next one because I feel like it's also going to be sad in a good way, so yeah. But I really do want to finish this because I loved this series a lot, so actually I would like to get to that sometime this year, hopefully. And then the last 2 on this list are ones that are on here mainly because they were part of priority TBRs. The first is going to be the Magnolia Parks series. This was actually a priority series for 2025, and I never finished it. I have 2 more books left in the series to read. I think my issue with this is that I read Daisy Hates, obviously second, and didn't love it as much as Magnolia Parks. I didn't like all the footnotes, the way that the story itself was formatted. I also didn't really like Daisy's story as much. And then I read the 3rd book, which is The Long Way Home, and followed Magnolia Parks again more, and I really enjoyed it again. Very, very toxic characters that a lot of people aren't going to vibe with. They're very, very frustrating, but you eventually do start to see some character development in them, which is why I keep coming back to the series. So hopefully I can finish that before the year ends, since it was a priority last year. And then one that is on here because actually the 2nd book is on my 2026 priority TBR, and that's Bonds of Hercules. Villains of Lore is the title for this series. My hesitancy for this and why I haven't picked it up quite yet is because this was like a fever dream story, and I really wasn't sure how I felt about it. Like, I couldn't put it down, but it was also super weird, and that's kind of why I haven't gotten to the 2nd one yet, but it's in the high priority category because I do need to finish it before the end of the year if I'm going to work my way through my 2026 priority TBR. So that's why it's in this category. Hopefully I will get to this sometime soon and enjoy the 2nd book, or at the very least get some more conclusive feelings towards it. That way I can determine if I even want to go into the 3rd one or officially DNF the series. So those are all of the romance and dark romance series that I am in the middle of. It's a little bit insane. Sorry, my dog just hit the camera. A little bit insane, but we are going to get through it. There's 27 of those series. On top of all the fantasy series that I keep introducing into my roster as well. And then there's some that aren't even in these 2 videos that I will have to do a 3rd video for. So yeah, you know, not great with the series. It's really hard not to pick up new ones and start new ones and not finish the old ones. For some reason, that's just how my brain is. But you know, we're going to make a conscious effort to continue working through these, try to tackle a couple each month. If you have some that you think maybe should be in different categories, than what I have them in, let me know. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.